Greetings and blessings and greetings. Blessed souls is Danzos Yugubin, and we're live from Kesser Karn Heights. It is now the first day of Rosh Chodesh Av Menachem Av, and although these are called the 9 days of mourning for the Jewish people, culminating unfortunately in the destruction of the first and second temple, we still have to rejoice because we have to make a choice to communicate in a way hopefully that's lev to lev, heart to heart, and we're going to be hopefully springing off wonderful blogging by Rabbi Doctor Eliezer Goldstock from his wonderful organization called Heart to Heart, which is run by him and also his wife of valor, Mrs. Chana Goldstock. And I'd like to take you back 3 years ago to a, um, a blog that he wrote on April 27th, 2007, and then punctuated, hopefully, with a teaching from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Nachman Mendel Schneerson, who gave this teaching over almost 40 years ago. We all dream of the day we'll marry and have children. We anticipate the birth of our children during the 9 months of a pregnancy with great expectation. When babies are conceived in love, we expect them to be perfect and cute and well lovable. But when they do not live up to our expectations by being born perfect, then our initial reaction is or often is disappointment, depression, and rejection. The reaction to this type of disappointment can be so overwhelming that it can lead to real depression, and that in turn can and often has led to the rejection of an infant. And unfortunately, another flip side to the slippery slope universe of depression, we never know of such things, is that anger can spring off of depression. Anger sometimes, heaven forbid, can lead to violence, whether it be emotional, physical, abuse, neglect, issues emanating out of the anger, the flip side of depression. These challenges are so powerful that the marriage between two people who committed themselves to a lifetime of caring for each other and caring for their offspring and self-sacrifice can then take a turn and become seriously jeopardized. Once the news is known to be factual, the marital relationship has already or will already have been altered, even though the partners don't realize how significant that is. Most of the messages being given at the time of birth on the news, there's something not perfect about the child, are negative and rejectionist in essence. And this negativity can come from doctors, highly educated, rabbis, we hope the rabbis are highly educated, relatives, who can range from ignorant to fairly educated to highly educated, and friends, of course, also fit in the same category in terms of range of education. The source of this rejection attitude stems from, despite higher levels of education, this rejectionist attitude stems from ignorance and historical misconceptions as to what has just occurred. So it is important that this is an attitude at birth, that it's an attitude that we have to start to change. So we have to try to offer alternatives, not just to the parents, but to the professionals who are offering the advice. Next, we must offer information to young people prior to marriage, so they will have discussed as many of the possibilities that can occur in a marriage, and we're better prepared to confront these challenges. A positive approach, of course, is a paramount to success. Unfortunately, there is little to feel positive upon hearing that one's baby, whom one had such high expectations for so long, has just been born with Down's syndrome. I want to remind everyone, blessed souls, that Rabbi Doctor Eliezer Goldstock calls Down syndrome really up syndrome, because if a person was down, finding out that a child or a relative has been born with Down syndrome, well, if one is down, there's only one place to go, and that's back up. So what is Down syndrome in essence, and how it will affect our lives and the lives of the professionals that we have to deal with, relatives and friends who are offering such a liberal dose of advice? Perhaps it would have been better if they kept the advice to themselves. Just want to conclude on this one note, blessed souls, that Lubavitcher Rebbe talked about almost 40 years ago, the primacy of the human neshama, human soul over every fiber of the creation, of course with the exception of the creator of all creation, and said that we should understand that a soul, neshama, precedes all cause and effect relationships in the creation. So when we come to realize that, and we also acknowledge, at whatever level of awareness we have of the interaction of neshama, soul, in guf, body, and perhaps the body is not as perfect as we would like it to be, especially at the time of the birth of a new child, still we must remember that which is embedded and clothed into that beautiful little human body, no matter what level of health he or she was born into, the activating agent, the primal energy source for that human body, that human's existence, even at the infant stage and going on to the next levels of progression in their life, is their blessed neshama, their blessed soul. And their blessed soul then hopefully will be cultivated as the human body is cultivated by the love and the feelings of hope and positive projections upon that person, even though they've gotten off to a rough start in life. And hopefully, Bestos, this is Douglas Gubin wishing all of us to think positively, project positively, and if we know of anyone who's in a situation where they've run into this type of occurrence, where the child is born with Downs/Up syndrome, let us try to remind ourselves, number one, unless we have educated ourselves as to what are the implications of having a child with Down syndrome, it is better not to offer advice, because if a person offers advice about something they don't know, more likely than not, their advice is just an intellectualization of some sort of false imagination. And people born into a situation, a relationship, where the child has already been compromised at certain levels of their physical development, even at the beginning of life, do not need to hear false imaginations cloaked in the bright intellectual justifications of what the parent shouldn't and shouldn't do. It is better for someone who hears this video to go to the experts, and experts like Rabbi Doctor Eliezer Goldstock and Mrs. Chana Goldstock and their team, which is spread across this country, and they have connections in Israel, and I believe also have some connections in Europe. Can call them, connect with them. Their website again is www.hearttoheartamerican.org. So everyone have a blessed day. Ahava Chad, one love, Gorel Chad, one destiny, Babor Yachad, and one creator, V'dar Chinom, in a pleasant way, V'dar Chishon.